Hello everybody, welcome to the Mind of Ro page. So last week I told everybody that I was going to do a video for the next 7 days on how to heal your energy centers with the Netaru and the Orishas. So last week I focused on the root, so this week I'm actually focused on our Sacral Chakra. If you're not sure what your Sacral Chakra is, it is your second energy center. And it's associated with your emotional intelligence, your creativity, and your sensuality. It could also be seen as your sexuality, but so can your root chakra as well. So today I'm going to be actually focused on our sensuality, and it's associated with the color orange and the element water. So yesterday I did a video on how to heal this energy center with the Netarus, so back and Heteru. So today I'm going to focus on Orishas. So today's Orishas to help heal this sacral energy or emotional center is going to be Olokun Yemaya, because they're both associated with the ocean, which is water and our emotions and healing. So Olokun, I'm going to start with Olokun first. So Olokun is the Orisha of all bodies of water. He's associated with the deep sea, which actually is also your deep subconscious self, which I like to call sometimes your shadow self, which is a part of you that tends to do things on automatic mode or autopilot. Even sometimes it does some things that you don't want it to do. Sometimes you end up doing things that, like, for example, have you ever driven home and realized your mind was wandering the whole time, but you have no idea how you got home? That's basically your automatic mind or autopilot mind working. And that actually happens a lot with our emotions. So if something traumatic happened to us when we were young, we tend to react to something that reminds us of that moment in our adult life, even if it's not really happening. And that's called our shadow self. We tend to sabotage ourselves, create more problems than there needs to be, because it's an automatic thing that we do. And especially during this time, I am very into sharing conscious information. So as a melanated woman myself, I understand the history that a lot of melanated people have a lot of colonial mentality due to colonialism. So these are actually a couple of Orishas that are good to help heal colonial mentality, to be able to heal from colonialism that not only we are still going through today, but most importantly what our ancestors have been through. Therefore we could have embedded habits within ourselves through our bloodline. So this is a good way to heal those attachments to our ancestors that do not serve us emotionally. So Olokun is associated with the color dark blue, white, green, or sometimes red. It depends on which culture you're coming from. And the number 9 or the number 7. He could actually be seen as a she as well. In different cultures, he's a he. In another culture, Olokun could be a she or both. I've heard a story where I think sometimes Olokun could be a male in the water, and once Olokun comes out, Olokun turns into a female. There's different stories of Olokun. It just depends on which background you're coming from. So Olokun's energy, if you were to summon Olokun's energy, he actually feels really heavy because he is associated with the deep sea. So when you do summon him, and if you do really want to speak to him, his energy could feel very heavy, kind of like the deep sea, kind of like the subconscious part of your mind that you don't want to realize. So just be mindful, if you do want to do some work with Olokun and you want to summon him and speak to him, just be mindful that that's the type of energy that he will come in as. It's really heavy. He's a very loving spirit. He's not going to hurt you or harm you in any way. He's very understanding. I don't associate him with as a hot spirit as much. I'm sure there's some things you can do that might irritate him, but he's not as hot as other spirits like Eshu or Ogun. So he's not as touchy as other spirits like that. But just know, if you were to summon him and call him forth to speak to him, his energy can be a little heavy. Don't be alarmed. That's just what his energy feels like. Obviously not literally like the sea, because if it was literally like the sea, you'd be smashed. So just think about that. So why would you contact Olokun? Because Olokun helps you be aware of conscious habits and conscious emotions and feelings and thoughts that we are not conscious of. So subconscious things that we do and subconscious ideas or stories that we embed into our head very deeply, and we do not want to be open about it, or we're scared to. And they're not things that we think we might be mindful of. They're actually the things that we're not mindful of at all. And Olokun helps bring those thoughts out, and he actually helps heal them and helps you see them from a different perspective. So my personal experience with Olokun, I made another video on him before. This is my second video on Olokun. I'll tag that video with this video, so you can have another idea on how to serve Olokun without having to literally be at the ocean or at the water where I'm at now. You could actually serve him at home as well on a plate, and I'll tag that video with this video. So my experience with Olokun, he actually ended up making me cry. I sat in my pyramid, I made an offer to him, and he helped me realize that the reason why I do a lot of this work with these Neteru and the Orishas on the obviously the physical human perspective, the reason why. I'm not going to get into the spiritual past lives info like that. I already think that's part of it too, but we're not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about why my physical self right now, this current life, wants to be so attached to specific deities that are male, for example, is because I have been abandoned by my real father. I do have a stepfather, but deep down inside, I still feel abandoned. I tell myself, I'm just like, whatever, I'm over it. But Olokun made me be aware that no, this still bothers you, and this is something that needs to be brought out. And this is why you seek a lot of enlightened messages from feel attached to male Orishas or male Neteru, and in a childish type of way. So. But at the same time, he also let me know that it's a healthy way to heal, to be attached to Orishas and Neteru, because they are gods and there's nothing wrong with that. But he helped me realize that a lot of my pain that I have, I bury and I avoid, and it makes me do certain things. Like I think it's called the attachment theory, where we actually learn our needs for attachment by the time we're 7 years old. It's the theory. It's around 7 years old. So whatever attachment your parents taught you, it tends to go into our adult lives and our adult relationships as well. And that's why sometimes if you had an unhealthy relationship with your parents, you tend to keep having unhealthy relationships with adults as well when you grow up. So this is why we need to work with Olokun, because he helps us realize those things. And not only does he help us realize, he helps heal it, and he helps wash it away, because he is associated with the sea. So how do you know Olokun is around? Because he's associated with the sea and the colors dark blue and white. If you want to know if the spirit is around you, he tends to feel very heavy, like I said earlier. A lot of pictures of deep sea creatures might actually pop up. If you have a curiosity or like a love for deep sea creatures, like I personally do, you probably can be a child of Olokun if you're a very deep thinker. Now let me repeat, deep thinker, not busy thinker, because there's a difference between somebody who has a lot of brain chatter and somebody who is actually a deep thinker. There's two different things, so don't mix the two up. If you're a deep thinker like myself, I always want to know why things are the way they are, and I want to know about my history and the planet's history. That's considered deep thinking. If you're a deep thinker and you really like deep sea creatures or love the water, you could be a child of Olokun. I know I've been told that I am. I was actually told that before I even got into Ifa. So just to know, if you see those images around, especially if you are currently working with Olokun, or if you're thinking of working with Olokun, he could hear you think about it. And to know that he's around and letting you know that he's around, you'll see pictures of deep sea creatures or his colors, or even, for an example, so some people who do rituals with Olokun and for African like rituals, they actually paint their face white for Olokun with some kind of powder that they use. And the day I was supposed to give offers to Olokun for the first time, when I went to buy his food, when I was driving home, a man crossed the street and he had all this white powder on his face. So that's basically a message saying Olokun knew that I was about to make an offer to him, and he was basically for a second. So he was basically saying, hey, I'm here and I see that you're about to talk to me, and more power to you, you know? So Yemaya and Olokun both like sweet food, so like honey, molasses, and fruits like oranges, apples, stuff like that. So like I said in a lot of my other videos, if you want to make offers to any of the Orishas or Neteru, make sure you divine on it first. And because Olokun and Yemaya are considered Orishas, it is best to speak to Eshu first, which I will post a video with this video to explain how you do that. In this practice, you always need to make sure you feed Eshu first, always. It is just the rule, because he's a gatekeeper and he's a door opener. So if you want to make sure Olokun and Yemaya get the message, he is a messenger, and he'll help make sure that whatever message you need and healing that you want and offers you want to give, the message will be received by Olokun and Yemaya. And what you'll do is you'll basically give an offer to Eshu at the crossroads, a four-way stop, not three, four-way stop, and give him things like rum, he likes candy, cigars, stuff like that. And I'll post a video. Make sure you only give Orishas what they like. Don't just give him whatever, because Eshu is he could be a little temperamental. So just don't give him whatever. Make sure you divine first, and I'll share that video as well on how to divine. You could actually ask through pennies with 4 pennies, and I'll share a video on how to do that. I don't want to get too much into that right now, but pretty much you'll just ask Eshu what offers would he like to open the doorway for you, and then you give those offers that Eshu would like, and then you will ask Eshu, what does Olokun and Yemaya want for the request that I'm asking. And then you would list names of fruits or candy that you may happen to have in your home, honey, molasses, stuff like that, and you'll get like the yes or no or maybe type of answers from the pennies. And then that's how you know you're getting the correct offer that they want for the request that you're asking. So Yemaya or Yemoja, it depends on which background you're coming from. You could pronounce the name either way, Yemaya or Yemoja. She is often seen as a mermaid with two tails, and I'm sure that sounds very familiar to you if you've been to Starbucks. So supposedly Starbucks gets a lot of their coffee from Africa. Did you know that the Starbucks image is actually Yemoja or Yemaya? So, yeah, look into it. If you look at the picture, you'll realize Yemoja or Yemoja, Yemaya actually is that image in Starbucks. And it's not a coincidence that they get their coffee from Africa. I know there's a big thing about everybody's boycotting Starbucks right now due to them supporting slavery and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of makes sense because obviously they got an African deity as an image. So I think it's hard to boycott Starbucks. I swear they put like crack in their coffee or something. I love it. But it's not a coincidence that they were just recently exposed on the internet saying that they support African slavery, and then they use an African deity as their symbol, an African god who is Yemaya or Yemoja. So she is called the Queen Orisha of the ocean, or the Mother Goddess. And as you see, the shirt that I'm wearing is, you know who that is. So Yemoya or Yemaya could actually be seen as Isis or Aset as well. And this image that you've seen right here, Mother of the Virgin Mother in Christianity, was actually the image taking place of Yemaya or Yemoja. So that's actually who she represents, not only Yemaya but also Aset and Isis, because they represent the Mother Goddess energy. And of course they erased their whole dark skin and replaced it with white skin, but we're not going to get into that. But just to let you know, that's who that actually represents, is Yemaya. So let me describe her energy really quick. She is very motherly. She is not a hot spirit. If you end up giving her something she didn't ask, she's not going to get very mad or temperamental with you at all. She might not do what you ask. Like I said yesterday with Heteru, she does the same way. But she's not going to get mad, or she's not going to get temperamental or bother you or send any bad vibes your way or anything like that. So she's a really very loving. She's that mother that everybody wished they had. That's the energy that she has. That's why she's called the Queen Orisha of the ocean and the Mother Goddess and the mother of all sea creatures, the mother of all. She's actually known to have given birth to other Orishas as well. It's fun to do a little research on her to see what other Orishas came from her. So her colors are actually light blue and white. So as you see, I'm wearing some light blue today to represent her. And well, why would you contact Yemaya? She's a perfect one to speak to if you have mother issues or mommy issues. If you have a very bad relationship with your mother and she hurts you a lot and you just can't get over the fact that your mother wasn't motherly enough. I have that issue. My mother was very abusive to me, and I need a lot of healing with that. And when our mothers hurt us, the one that brought us into this planet, it tends to ricochet into our adult life, and we need a lot of healing. And Yemaya helps us heal with that motherly energy. She will help release that energy that doesn't serve us, that resentment, and help give us that energy and love that we're yearning for, that we're looking for from a much etheric field, or from a much higher perspective. She actually will not only take what hurts us, but she will replace it with energy that does serve us, which is Yemaya energy, which is a lot of self-love and comfort and acceptance for ourselves, and she'll actually do that for you. My personal experience with Yemaya, the first time I meditated on her, I was not at the water. I was actually downstairs in front of an altar. I was next to an altar of Shango. So Yemaya is actually Shango's mother. So I was next to his altar, and obviously I did the whole, give Eshu something, and then I actually gave her some melons and some molasses to have her come forth, and I had a priest write an Odu for me to help open the doorway for me to be able to speak to Yemaya. And when I was meditating, she showed up as this giant sea dragon. I actually posted pictures of what she looked like, and she popped up as like this iridescent, like bright blue, green, like the sea creature that came splashing out of the water and started talking to me, like mentally. She wasn't speaking with her words, but mentally, and she came off very loving and very protective, and it made me think, like, man, I wish I had a giant dragon that would like protect me from things. But that's basically what she, and I feel like a part of her kind of came out as kind of Olokunish. So in some religions or some other backgrounds other than Ifa. I actually see Olokun Yemaya as one. So it just depends on what background or what history you want to look into. So when I asked a priest about why did Yemaya come off as some giant like sea creature talking to me, and he was like, probably because she came off with a lot of Olokun energy, because Olokun could kind of come off like a giant sea creature as well and talk to you as a sea animal instead of an actual human half god person. So Yemaya could also come to you as a sea creature and speak to you, so can Olokun. So just know I've had dreams of crabs one time eating lettuce in one of my dreams, or eating, I think it was herbs. I think it was the herb dill, because the reason why he came to me in my dream and told me to eat dill is because dill is good for our mind. It actually helps heal our mind. So I had a dream of a bunch of crabs eating it in my dream, and then when I looked up dill, I found out that it's actually good to heal our brain, because I'm going through some healing process because I had a concussion a while ago. So Olokun came to me as a crab in my dream and basically was telling me to, you know, feed your mind with dill. So because they'll come to you as sea creatures as well, and crabs are known to be bottom sea dwellers, and that's why he came to me as a crab. So how do you know she's around? Seeing images of mermaids, and also know that Oshun is also can be seen as a mermaid as well, but she's more like the color yellow. So if you see a mermaid with the colors like blue or white, then you know it's Yemaya. If you see a lot of mermaid images coming to you, maybe on shirts or on posters, or maybe when you're dreaming, know that if the mermaid comes to you wearing yellow, it's Oshun. So just know that, you know, everything doesn't belong in a box. Not all mermaids are going to be Yemaya. There's other backgrounds and other deities that could communicate with you as a mermaid as well. Olokun could come to you as a mermaid as well. He could be seen as half man, half mermaid, or half female, half mermaid with the darker colors, because she is associated with darker colors. So just know, pay attention if you dream or if you meditate and see images pop up in your head, to know the difference between the mermaids, between Olokun, Yemaya, and Oshun. So let me repeat really quick. If you see a mermaid come up to you in a dream or in meditation, or an image in your head, and if it's a dark color, it's usually going to be Olokun. If it's the light color, blue or white, it could be Yemaya, and if it's yellow, it's going to be Oshun. So like I said earlier, before you do any of these offers, make sure you always feed Eshu first. The chances of them getting the message if you don't feed Eshu first is very slim to none. So do not forget to Eshu always eats first, which means you're always going to make an offer to Eshu with the offers that Eshu likes for him at the crossroads before you go to the ocean to make offers to Olokun and Eshu, or Olokun and Yemaya. So just make sure you don't ever forget that. So I'm going to show you really quick what I actually offered them. I'm going to switch the camera around really quick. So I brought this with, so this is right here. This is for Olokun. I did divine in front of Eshu, and I asked Eshu what they want, and Olokun asked for some candy, so I have some butterscotch candy. I have 3 pieces. He specifically said he wanted 3 pieces, and that's honey in there for him. And over here I have oranges with molasses, and I have it cut into 7 pieces. That's what she wanted, because 7 represents her number. So this is what I did. I cut the pieces into 7, and then I put molasses over it. So I'm going to actually show you guys what to do. So before you do this, like I said, make sure what you're going to do is you're going to go to the crossroads and give Eshu his offers, and then afterwards you're going to go to the ocean, which is where I'm at now, and I'm going to show you what to do, okay? Oh, she's going to drop my stuff. And I'm going to give you a quote to say for Olokun and for Yemaya. I hope I don't step on anything, okay? So you're going to go to the ocean after you make an offer to Eshu, okay? And then this is what you're going to say. What I would do is I would serve Olokun first. Okay, so you don't have to serve them both. You could only do Olokun if you want to do some subconscious healing, or just do Yemaya if you want to do some emotional healing, or healing in regards to resentment towards people who's hurt you in your past life. You don't have to do it together. You could do just one or the other. It's really up to you. Today I'm going to do both, and the reason why I'm going to do both is because I want to work on my sacral chakra right now, and I want to get rid of that which does not serve me, and I want to replace it with something that does. So I'm actually going to ask Olokun to help heal any colonial mentality that I have that was embedded into me by not only my ancestors, but most importantly by my mother, because my mother was very abusive. She was very mean to me growing up. She passed away. and I cannot talk to her about it now. So the best thing to do for me is to speak to Olokun and Yemaya to help me heal these aspects within myself. So I'm actually going to ask Olokun to help heal my colonial mentality that was caused by my mom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Yemaya to help give me the energy to replace that energy that I'm getting rid of, that loving acceptance energy, so I could feel deep down inside that I could accept myself and not always have that repeated negative thoughts that my mom constantly put into my head since childhood. So when you greet Olokun, I'm going to give you two things to say to I'm going to give you something to say to Olokun, and then I'm going to say something for Yemaya. So you're going to go to the ocean and you're going to say, Olokun, I respect you, Olokun. I respect the owner of the day. Olokun, I greet you. Olokun, I greet you. Olokun, I greet you. I greet you 3 times. Spirit of the ocean, I will worship you for as long as there is water in the sea. Let there be peace in the water. Let there be peace in my soul. I give you praise. Wash away colonial mentality. Ashe. And then what you would do is you're going to give the offers and you're going to put it in the ocean. I'm going to do that when I get off this phone because I don't want to drop my phone in the ocean because that would suck. So after you say that quote right there, you're going to give the offer to Olokun. So moving on to Yemaya. Yemaya or Yemoja. I respect Yemaya, queen of the ocean. It is a bird who delivers abundance to Yemaya, goddess of the sea. Yemaya, I greet you. Yemaya, I greet you. Yemaya, I greet you. I greet you 3 times. Yemaya, the ageless one, the power of transformation that comes from the mother of fish is beyond understanding. Yemaya, save me. Save me from the pain my mother has caused me. Omo, surely, I am Rashir Villanueva, child of Olokun. I give praise, Ashe. So, take note that when I am making offers to the Orishas, I am speaking my name and I am speaking my mother's name, and I say almost Shirley, which basically is saying that my mother's name is Shirley, because you want to be very clear about who you are and who your mother is, and basically why your mother is, because your mother is who brought you into this world. So if you want the message to be very clear with any of the Orishas, this is not just for Olokun and Yemaya and Eshu, this is for all Orishas or any of the Netaru. If you make any offers out in nature, it's a little different if you're doing it from your home, but if you're out in nature, it is wise to make sure that you say your full name and your mother's name. Say Omo, Shirley, and then your name. I ask you for this healing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go and put the offer into the ocean and make sure it washes away. And when you do that, you're going to turn around, okay? And you're going to walk away and don't look back. So the reason why this is seriously what could happen. I've heard from people that they could see some pretty scary things. So because Olokun is associated with the deep sea, you don't want to turn around and see a spirit coming in and eating your food, because it's happened before and you don't want to freak out. It could be a little uncomfortable, and it also represents the concept of walking away and not looking back, because that everything you do, everything you say, and everything you offer during an offering holds energy. So when you make the offer, be sure that you do not look back, because that just shows that you're literally and energetically and soulfully and mentally not looking back, that you believe that they're going to take this pain from you and you're going to walk away from it and let them have it and let them deal with it, and you leave it alone. You walk away. Don't look back. The only time you should ever look back in life is if you're on the catwalk or playing basketball, okay? So no, every single time you ever leave an offer for anybody, any Orisha, no matter where you're out in nature, whether you're at the ocean, whether you're at the crossroads, whether you're at the train tracks, once you give it, do not look back. Okay, so thank you for tuning in and watching my video. I'm about to make these offers really quick once I put this phone down. And I hope everyone is having a very healing week and healing day. If you like my videos, please share my videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Mind of Ro. I also have TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, and everything is at Mind of Ro, except for Snapchat. That's Little Ro 253 because somebody else had Mind of Ro. But other than that, everything else is at Mind of Ro. And if you do subscribe to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the notification bell and share this video. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Peace.